Hey fam, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is Robert Anton here, robertanton.com, coming back to you, and let me tell you, it's a brand new show! It's a brand new show! I almost forgot where I was. I thought I was covering The Voice, but The Voice is over. So what show are we covering tonight? We are covering The Four. It's a brand new show on Fox. And let me tell you just a little bit about what's going on. It's a little convoluted, but you know, I know y'all can keep up. Here we go. 4 people start out in the winner seats. They've already looked for them. They've auditioned them. They've gotten the best supposedly that they can get, and other contestants come to challenge them for their spot. So this is a 6-week competition. Each week, anybody can leave the show after they have been challenged. The final 4 left seated will then compete with each other to figure out who is the winner, and the winner will get a Republic Records contract and the chance to work with the superstar judges Sean Diddy Combs, Meghan Trainor, DJ Khaled, and Republic Records president Charlie Walt. Plus, Fergie is the hostess. Who could ask for anything more? So, how did it all go down? Well, let me tell you. The first 4 seated are Lex Lu, Blair Perkins, Elanese Lansen, and Ash Minor. Now, the 4 started out by singing Can't Stop the Feeling, Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake. And I felt like Lex was more of an MC or rapper because she started and she didn't really sing. She was kind of like spitting out the words. The other 3 had nice voices, but this wasn't a showcase for any of their voices. And then Lex started to rap and I was like, okay, I knew she was going to be a rapper. Nice production number to start the show, but it wasn't a wow kind of thing. I wasn't wowed by any of them. They retired to their seats and the challengers had to audition for the judges. And if they got through the judges, they decided who they wanted to battle. There's a lot going on. I'm telling y'all, there's a lot going on. It's taking me a while to get it out. Did you watch? Tell me down in the comments what you thought of it. Right now, make sure to stop the video and tell me what you thought. Okay, here we go. First up was Tyler Griffin. He was 24. He did Talk Dirty by Jason Derulo. And he came out hyping up the crowd before he even started singing, before he even introduced himself. And I really liked his energy. He had a few moves and showed a lot of stage presence, though he didn't sing the title line the first time it went by. And I was like, what happened? He seemed to be losing his breath here and there, but he was a lot of fun to watch. Khaled liked the dancing and called him a performer. Diddy said he made him smile with his energy and his voice. Charlie called him good, but said the 4 are great. And Meghan told him that he seemed like he'd been performing for years. Now, all of the judges are needed in order for someone to go through, so they have to get 4 yeses, and Tyler only got 3. And it was a bad thing. I didn't expect it right away, right? I should have expected it, but I didn't expect it. They called out who didn't put him through. So it was like, yeah, I'll admit to it. I like that part of the show. Okay, here we go. Next up was Javaya. She was 16. She did Location by Khaled. And she started out with some really nice riffs before she even got into the verse. Y'all know I like that. And then had an interesting voice. Charlie was really vibing on what she was doing. And she's young and was really just so comfortable with considerable swag and some really solid melisma choices. Charlie and Meghan stood for her when she finished. Khaled said she looked and sounded like a young icon. Charlie said he felt like he was looking at the future. Meghan told the 4 that they should be terrified, but Diddy said he doesn't think she could take one of the 4 and asked them who wanted to take her on. The 2 guys stood. The panel voted Zavia through and she challenged Elanese and they had a little back and forth like they were talking, like clapping back at each other. That was kind of cute. The twist. The audience gets to decide who wins the challenge. Elanese Lansen goes first and she did Échame la Culpa by Luis Fonsi and Demi Lovato, and she sang in Spanish and was really poised, if a tad distant. I liked when she kind of stalked her prey, right? But she got her sexy on and did a really good job with this. Javaya sang Unforgettable by French Montana, and I love her tone and the way she pronounced her words, but she was a little less confident this time, right? To me, she didn't seem as good as her first performance, but she did do her thing. And Zavia won, and Diddy did not look happy. Did you see his face? If you get to see a video, then you got to see his face. Then her seat was locked for the night, and she can't be challenged. Next up was Anthony Hall. He was 28. He did Feel It Still by Portugal the Man, and he gave out this rebel yell on the first note and got me to smiling. I liked how he was all up in the rhythm and the music all through his body. It looks like he's had a lot of stage experience, and he had a solid sound with a lot of gruff. Meghan said it's her favorite song right now and she loved that he made it his own. Diddy said he needs to see the artist in him. And he got 2 votes, which means a no. But you can always thumb me up and make sure to let me know that you are enjoying the commentary. I'm just starting this out. I don't know if I'm going to do it all, if you guys are interested or not. If you're interested in seeing more, make sure to share this video. Let me know down in the comments, and also to thumb it up. I really appreciate it. And maybe I'll see you next week. Next up, it was Illacris. He was 21. He did Let's Groove Tonight by Earth, Wind & Fire. But there was a catch. He was so hype and handled his branding and was rapping some original music. over the beats. It was so cool and the audience seemed to be into it, but the judges looked confused. Meghan loved his stage presence and originality, and that he believed in himself. Charlie thought he was interesting for other shows, but not for this show. Diddy disagreed and told him that originality was key. Khaled said he didn't get any feeling from it, but the judges put him through after Diddy pumped up the crowd to get the challenge going, and Elanese challenged Lex. So Lex performed over Wild Thoughts by DJ Khaled featuring Rihanna, and she rapped over this track and had crazy stage presence, a wonderful look, and an interesting voice and flow. She gave us a little Nicki on the last. I was like, go ahead, old girl, but the rest of it really sounded to me like her own personal voice. Elanese performed over Special Delivery, and he's so goofy and fun to watch. I loved his hypeness. You know, he was just jumping up and down and all up in the crowd's face, and he was rapping hella fast at one point to start this out and changed up his flow a few times, but Diddy looked bored. DJ Khaled said he liked that one better than the first, but told Elanese it has to be greater. Diddy said he didn't think the guy did enough, but said he wasn't happy with either of their performances. And Lex Lu won, and her seat was locked for the night. And then there was Valentina. She was 19, she did Green Light by Lorde, and her voice was so high and mousy as she was talking, and then she sang and had all this depth and intensity. Loved how she internalized the lyrics, but also had some fun and moved with the music. The crowd really seemed to be feeling her, and I enjoyed what she did. Charlie said he saw a real artist on that stage. Meghan called it a beautiful performance, but told her she's not the biggest fan of that sound. Diddy said he didn't like it, and told her that she can do better, and the girl was about to cry, let me tell you. Then the judges were arguing back and forth. Then Khaled told her that she can't act and be a superstar. And I was just like, why are they ripping this girl apart? She did fine. Yeah, she did better than Elanese, but they were ripping her apart. So I was like, okay, what's gonna happen? We knew she wasn't going through, but I was just like, she was crying as she went backstage. Oh, poor girl. And when they voted, naturally, she got 2 yeses and 2 nos. Next up, we had Saeed Reynaud. He was 37. He did Run to You by Whitney Houston. And he started this and broke hearts. Let me tell you, such a wonderful tone, support, great feeling. He definitely had the judges' attention, and the crowd was going wild. This was a beautiful performance that had Meghan tearing up, and the guys were looking nervous that he had a challenge. They were looking like there was only 2 of them could be challenged, and they both looked very nervous. Meghan said she lost where she was, and it was just the 2 of them in the room. Khaled said he's quitting if someone says no on the panel. Charlie told him there's a place for him in the music business, and Diddy thanked him for setting the bar. And of course, the judges voted him through, and he challenged Blair. So Blair Perkins got to go first. He was 25. He did Stay With Me by Sam Smith. He has a beautiful tone with strength and assurance, though he was doing a little skipping here and there in his voice. Little things weren't coming out the way he wanted them to come out. Saeed was vibing to the music, and Blair got on his knees to beg, a little overdone and all that different stuff, but you know, he looked okay doing it. He sounded really good though and gave a solid performance. Saeed sang Love Me Again by John Newman, and he attacked this really well and showed off some of his low notes before climbing into the heights. I like that this started out kind of slow, and then it had a nice up-tempo vibe, and he was moving with that, and then when it went into like the breakdown, he was giving his little dancing and stuff, and he's a big guy, you know, so to see that he was moving and dancing and singing so well, killing the vocal, he was wailing away on this, though he had to keep fixing his hat for some reason, which was a little distracting, but he was directing those notes at the end. I was like, you better go ahead and sing that, boy, just give it to us. The crowd naturally went wild at the end. And Khaled talked about how excited he is to be on the show. Meghan called Blair very dramatic, but preferred Saeed. Charlie called Blair pitch perfect. Diddy told Blair he can't go on his knees and not cry. And not cry. And I was like, what has that got to do? I guess he's trying to give him some, you know, stage pointers or whatnot. But I was like, how you gonna say you can't go on your knees and not cry? A lot of people do it. Then the audience finished voting, and they chose Saeed, and he gave Fergie a big hug, and all the judges stood for him. And that was a pretty good ending to the show. What did you think of the show tonight? Please tell me down in the comments. Is it something you'll watch for the next 5 weeks, or is it something that you can do without? You heard what I had to say, so let me know what you got to say. This is Robert Anton, RobertAnton.com. I am out. Oh my God. I know that's bad of me to be laughing about it, but it was funny to me. I'm sorry. Tell me what you thought down in the comments. I was tickled pink.